Welcome to the Pantry Challenge, days 11 through 18. Come see what I screw up in the kitchen. Come see what I made for these days. This is something we have with our hunting buddies every time we go together. We're making Cowboy Stew today because it's cold. I'm also using this zesty corn again, so I'm going to drain it and rinse it because it's too zesty. And I'm using ground moose today. It won't make much grease because it's a lean game meat, so it doesn't have much fat to it. So I'm going to go ahead and season garlic powder and onion powder. You can use garlic and onion if you want. I usually do like a layer of each over the top of the whole pound. What the? Okay. You can use whatever meat you want. If you're fresh out of moose. The meat is brown, and then we just add a can of minestrone, which I think next year I'm going to try canning myself, minus the noodles. Can of ranch style beans. I've tried to can this before and it did not turn out good. Rotel with hatch green chilies, and that corn, but you can use regular corn or frozen corn. Just dump all that in, stir it together, heat it up, and you can serve it with cheese and sour cream and a bunch of bread. Delish. Today's the start of that storm that I'm sure a lot of you are getting. So typically what I do is stay in the travel trailer while the roads aren't the greatest and the animals still need to be fed. So I woke up early this morning and fed, and luckily I finished, right on time. A little bit of it was in the sleet and the rain, but I finished. I prepped the hay for tomorrow, and now I'm going to make my breakfast. Luckily at the farm we reuse these, but we have our own eggs and we sell pork, so I already have some pork sausage in the hot water thawing, and I'm gonna get to work on my breakfast. Actually, one of the first videos I ever made for YouTube, I was in the barn when we didn't even have insulation. So it was just a plain metal building with nothing between me and the winter of 2021. So we had actual snow in Texas, which is weird. Usually we have ice and sleet, but not real snow. Grabbing my knife out of my jacket reminds me of when me and my husband went to Pima, Arizona, and his uncle and I shared a burrito, and in Pima they call them burros. But anyway, he grabbed his knife and he was like, I don't think I've castrated anything with this knife recently. And I was like, that was the best dadgum burrito I've ever had. So you never know what kind of flavorings are on your farm knife. Give it a try. Had to go put the gas tanks in the back of the truck in the barn. I almost forgot. I didn't want to get rain in them. I think the snow's about to start. We've had sleet and sprinkles so far. Light wintry mix starting in 10 minutes, likely stopping soon. All good news. If you've watched my farm update videos, we had a calf born on the 1st, and I was really worried about her getting wet and then being cold. I had a neighbor tell me, cows have been having calves in the cold for thousands of years. And I was like, yeah, but they don't all make it. When you have a farm, you can't stay inside comfortable. You have to take care of your animals. It is your responsibility. We don't have the trailer hooked up to water because we actually have a kitchen in the barn, so I don't really need it. I love cooking on propane. Oh my gosh, it's so much faster and more reliable than electric. Don't mind my fancy china here. And there's my breakfast. Oh, and my coffee. I'm making lamb gyros or gyros. This is from one of our sheep. And she was really loud, so I didn't want to keep her. Plus, I didn't want her to get bred by her dad. And he's our only ram, but he's going to be meat too because he keeps ramming everybody.
Especially you.
Especially me. And I almost broke his freaking neck today. I love my animals. I just love to threaten them. All I'm going to do is get this browned. And I don't like to add the spices until I drain the grease because lamb is very greasy. Here's the recipe if you can read that. You can pause it here. But most of the time you make the tzatziki sauce, but I don't like cucumber. So I put ranch and candied jalapenos, or cowboy candy as everybody is calling it, on mine. But we also do lettuce and tomatoes, so I'm going to get the tomato chopped. And just a reminder, we are allowing ourselves to get produce and bread. See how much grease is in there? It's a very fatty meat, but it's good. If you've never tasted it, you should try it. It's kind of expensive at the grocery store though. Alright. 1.5 teaspoons of oregano. Seems like a lot of oregano. Okay. One teaspoon garlic powder. Or garlic powder, as my sister would say it. Because she's freaking weird. 1 teaspoon of onion powder. One teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna do a little bit less. Last time it was really salty. 3/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Look at that, it fits in there. And That's it for the spices. Just mix it around real good. You know what? I may put a splash of water so it'll get in there good. And then we use pita bread or flatbread of whatever kind. You don't have to be. We don't stuff it in there like that. We just wrap it like a burrito. And then we got shredded lettuce, tomato, ranch, and then I put candied jalapenos on mine because they're delish. I'm gonna heat these in the microwave for just a little bit. P.S. You can also just use ground beef. Okay. This morning we're gonna make huevos rancheros. Here's the recipe. And this comes to you from Julia Pacheco. This recipe is not in her book, but she has a YouTube channel. If you're on a budget, she does a lot of budget videos, so you college kids, that's a good one. So let's get the oven preheated to 350. I'm making a half recipe because we get tired of eating on them after a while. The same thing over and over. Oh my goodness. Oh, it says tear here. Yeah, it says to spray it first. You could butter this or whatever. I have spray. I don't really pay attention to how many. I think it calls for a full bag. Yeah, 32 ounces of tater tots. I'm just gonna fill the bottom. Oh my gosh. We had some stuff sitting on it for a while. Usually I have tater tots for a tater tot casserole, but I really like this recipe too. Bought these before the challenge and they're gonna get old. Oh, perfect. 6 eggs. Our chickens haven't been laying the greatest. And then we put a heat lamp in there and all of a sudden they're like on again. So even during that freeze we just had yesterday and the day before. So I'm gonna use up these grocery store ones. These are all in teaspoons. Onion powder, which we are running dangerously low unless we have more. But luckily I have, oh no. Found more. I told you, my husband collects these things. Let me let my dog out for the 8,000th freaking time today. I have to edit it out, but I always turn on the camera and say, okay. Okay, I'm gonna need more. Okay. I'm gonna need more, so I'm just gonna do it like that. Oh, this must have come out of the barn. I have a little bit of moisture stew in the barn. If y'all haven't seen our farm, I have a full farm tour I can link in the description. We have a kitchen in the barn because my husband was gonna make some canned stuff, so he wanted to be legal. Teaspoon of oregano. I could have used Mexican oregano because we have it, but I didn't. 2 teaspoons of chili powder. I'm sure we have a smaller spice thing of this. My husband likes them to be all the same size, but I grab whatever's convenient. And then a teaspoon of cumin. Oh my gosh. Do you see what I did? I did not cut those in half. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to add 6 more eggs. Dadgummit. I'm an idiot. If I only had a brain. Take two. Good grief. Now I will eat on this till it's gone. My husband thinks that oh my gosh. My husband thinks that leftovers are only good for about 3 days. But in my family, on leftover night, my mom would open the Tupperware and go, oh, it'll be alright. Like, Mom, when did we even have this? Oh, it was sometime this month, probably. Let's get this a mixy. We are preheated. The spices don't always mix the greatest. I did this at Christmas with my dressing, and I suppose I haven't learned my lesson. You may run into a clump of spice. Maybe if I just stir the crap out of it. Well, it's just going to be chunky. I think it's always been like that. It evens itself out. This goes into a 350-degree oven for 40 to 50 minutes. You just want that egg to set. Alright, let's see if this is set. Indeedy. Even in the middle. I did end up cooking it for closer to 50 minutes just because underneath the middle of it wasn't done. I could see it running. Topped it with some sour cream and a little bit of this. And looking at this is so good. Looking at the ingredients, I think I'm gonna grow some tomatillos. This is moose meat, ground moose. Again. Brown it. Brown. I made canned Sloppy Joe mix with elk in it, and I think the elk was freezer burnt, so I threw it all out. It took a lot of ketchup though. I've also made Kent Rollins Sloppy Joes, and it's good, but I've been editing. We needed something easy. Seriously, all I do with my nights is pretty much edit. And I'm here in the morning, editing again. When this challenge is over and before spring babies come, I will do a bunch of canning stuff because I've got a lot of empty jars now. And I like to add candied jalapenos because it makes it delish. Tonight I was gonna make poppy seed chicken casserole, but the Ritz crackers are at the farm, so we're gonna have a chicken and dressing type casserole. First of all, we're gonna start the oven at 375. I am cutting this recipe in half for real this time. I swore after my mom boiled our chicken from those frozen individual chicken patties that I would never boil chicken ever in my life again, because this is only half a recipe, and there's not a lot to this, which is why you put it over rice. I usually cut off that fat, and then I'm actually gonna triple butterfly this because it's so thick. That side, and then look at that. A little bit of oil on the bottom so it doesn't stick. And get this Ooh. Get that going, and I usually put the lid on. Flip it halfway through and just cook it all the way through. Here is the recipe. Again, I'm making half, so I'm only using cream of chicken. If you have used, I've recently saw a powdered version of cream of anything, and she kept it in her pantry, and she just went and used like a few tablespoons or something of this cream of anything, and then added chicken stock or vegetable broth or whatever to make the cream of. If you've ever used that, let me know in the comments, because I'm thinking about making it. This sounds weird, but I don't like cubed chicken either. I'd rather have it pulled. Just a texture thing. Perfect preheat. Pulled chicken. Then I'm just doing 8 ounces of sour cream. And then I'm doing cream of chicken instead of cream of chicken and cream of mushroom. Teaspoon of poultry seasoning, so that you use some of it up. You don't have to put this in. And then we mix. Good enough. Even that out. Smack. I mean, technically I'm supposed to only use half of this, but we're going to use the whole, because what do you do with the other half? I guess I could give it to the chickens. Make sure and break up those clumps of seasoning in that packet, because it was salty when we bit into those clumps. It calls for a can, but I'm just going to use half. Although, well, I'm going to use, because you're only supposed to use half the amount of dressing, so we'll just kind of go till I feel like it. That's probably good. So, and then we go in the oven for 45 minutes on 375. I decided we're having green beans at this. I'm doing something crazy here. We had bananas and some leftover crushed pineapple, so I'm going to use these up and make a hummingbird pancake. I've never made this recipe before, but we're trying it out. As my dogs fight in the background, 1 3/4 cup of flour, oh, look at that, perfect. Oh my gosh, boys. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Oops. 1, 2 teaspoons of salt. And a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. 1/4 cup of sugar, and then 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Light brown sugar. And 2 eggs, and then we have to kind of stop them there. My eggs are dirty, but we're not dead yet. and then we're supposed to have a cup and a quarter of buttermilk, and I don't have buttermilk, so we're gonna make it. It's a 1 cup to 1 tablespoon of vinegar. 1 cup of milk, but I'm gonna do 1 1/4, or just shy 1 1/4 tablespoons of vinegar. 1. Oh, that's too much. And 1/4. Stir that up. I'm also going to cook up the rest of the sausage I had in the trailer because it's already thawed. These are thawed now. There's my 1/2 cup of crushed pineapple drained. And then it says 2 bananas. I think this is 2 bananas, but it says about 3/4 of a cup. It had enough banana. It's a little over, but who cares? And then it says to slowly whisk in your buttermilk. I'm gonna make sure this is real good and incorporated. Left-handed whisking. Now we put the flour in. It's probably supposed to be in batches, but I don't have the patience this morning. And then you're supposed to use brown butter, melted. I don't have the patience for brown butter, so it's just going to be regular butter. We're not going to be that fancy. Apparently I was supposed to fold the flour in, but I don't care because then it says to stir your butter in. So, I mean, what's the point of folding when you're going to stir it later? Seriously. We ain't that fancy. I'm sure my husband would have done it though. Alright, don't want to over stir it, so there it is. You're supposed to get fancy with garnishes of, you know, the fresh fruit and pecans, but I'm not going for that today. And my sausage is done. That's the leftovers from the trailer. And I cleaned off the top of the griddle. Let's see how far it gets us. Hopefully I can squeeze 30 on here. It's only supposed to make 4 pancakes, but I think they're going to be so sweet that we may not be able to handle it. No! 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 Don't! It did it. If you're thinking about getting pigs and you don't know what breed to get, or you want to buy pork from a farmer, I just made the decision for you. It's so juicy. You can't see it right now, but it's so juicy. This is Idaho pasture pigs, the best breed out there. Temperament wise, meat quality, Idaho pasture pigs. Alright, the big flip. Oh man, it's gonna splatter. Oh, maybe not. Perfect. The recipe only said 4 pancakes. I made 10. These were big enough. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I upload most Sundays and you can keep watching us grow our farm. Have a good one. Trying to even my eyes out.